Hey everybody, this is Dust for Listed on Gaming. Sorry about that. Previous false start on stream. I was attempting to record a video for my other channel, which is kind of a daily modern burn thing. So this is finishing up the league that I started last time we were queuing burn last Monday. Well, actually, we only played one match of that last Monday. So this deck is the current iteration of Burn I'm playing on Magic Online in the competitive leagues. Main differences is the Grim Lavamancers have been moved to the main, and the couple of Skull Cracks removed to the sideboard. This was due in large part to, at that point in time, a huge uptick in humans in the competitive leagues in specific. Humans had kind of taken over as the main deck when I was doing this a lot on my other channel. So I tried to make the main deck. No, unfortunately, I won't be going to anything until probably GP Detroit side events, because I took some time off for Labor Day and that the next GP weekend, which was Detroit. Mainly because it's been such a hassle to get time off work. So next year I'm going to try to push for more big events. This year I was supposed to go to Columbus and Pittsburgh. Columbus I ended up not going, and then Pittsburgh work didn't give me the time off. So I'm just kind of saving my time off and taking like a 2-week chunk off of work around Labor Day just to get some downtime when school starts back up. This hand seems reasonable, though we are on the draw. It kind of sucks. How are you doing, War Dog? Lavamancers is probably not what we want here. It's a pretty good bet Island is either, obviously, some type of blue control deck, probably blue-red in particular, or Storm. No play is a little... Okay, it looks like Storm. Now I'm in a really awkward spot. Well, hope you feel better, man. So the question becomes, am I supposed to get this Burrell off the table, or am I just supposed to get this Eidolon down? They could easily go like Spell, Grape Shot, kill Eidolon, so I think I'm just supposed to get Burrell off the table here. Kinda sucks wasting all these burn spells on their idiots, but they really can't go off without them. At least not very easily, so. Wow. Looks like their hands are all... Go with the Eidolon play, hope we don't die. Wouldn't just be surprised if they go like Ritual, Grape Shot, kill Eidolon, kill us anyway. hoping they wouldn't block it all here, but, you know. Must have just had the mana creature hand, figured they were good. Alright, so Storm. Couple of pass, couple rest in pieces, since we have them in our sideboard, though they're not particularly great. And then board out the Grims, and what is the other cut here? Skullcracks. So pass serves a couple purposes. It's another 1-mana interaction spell for their idiots on the play, or on the draw. And if they happen to be running the old, this hand's a little risky. I think we go ahead and keep it since we have a piece of interaction. Let's get that Baral off the table. If you have another mana idiot, we're probably dead here, so. Sure. Goblins. Goblins it is. Rest in peace, you're a little late to the party, my friend. Please don't have remand. Nope. Cool. means we're pretty much dead here. Alright, that was a fun game against Storm here. Being on the draw the first two games really kind of sucks against Storm. Rest in Peace is always tricky because if you don't draw it on like the first turn or two, it kind of gets really bad. But if we would have cast Rest in Peace there, we would have been able to stop that nonsense. Don't think there's any other cards we want. Alright, Space Marine. Has a ritual. Yep, always with the mana dork on too. It's a lot of rituals, so if they have another dork, we're probably dead. Of course you have another one. So we'll also threaten lethal, although they'll just block. Goblin Guide here would be my presumption. It's just a grape shot, clear my board kind of thing. Alright, got there against Storm. Sweet. Alright, so 0-2 to 2-2. We've played against, played against Tron and Storm. Beyond that, I don't remember what else this league is involved. Alright. Anyways, chance for the 3-2 in the pity chest here. Guess I'd like to be on the play. CN seems pretty good. Obviously depends on what they're playing, but usually double Eidolon on the play is pretty rough for a lot of opponents. Especially ones that are mulliganing to 5. Some type of restore balance nonsense. So should not have played out this land. That was my first mistake. Actually, this will put them to 8, and then Eidolon will lock them out of being able to cascade into restore balance. So basically why our opponent conceded is their deck is based around the concept of cascading spells into restore balance. And cascade spell is 3 or less and restored balance. So the triggers would cause them to take 8 damage regardless of how they cast it, and there's unlikely that they have any other way, at least main board, to take advantage of that. See if I have seen any restore balance lists lately. Kind of a fringe deck. Fortunately, I do know something about it, but some lists have been running like ley lines and stuff. Restore balance. Legacy of all things. Alright, so we can presume our opponent's bringing in ley lines, which means I'm going to want the destructive revelries regardless. Lavamancer doesn't have a lot of targets in this matchup. Searing Blaze likely does not as well. The question is how many cards do I have to bring in? I have the Skullcracks to bring in, and a Firecraft, even though they're attacking my mana. Just want mana efficiency and things that don't get blanked by lack of, kind of a weird situation, because they can have Leyline, and they could have goofy things like timely reinforcements. This hand's kind of weird. I don't like to keep 4 landers, but against this matchup and the fact that we have the Revelry, I think I'm going to try it. Instantly draw another land. We'll have a Windswept Heath here, which means we'll be able to suspend Gargadon. I'm going to fetch Shock here. Yep, there goes the Gargadon. Firecraft's an interesting card. I'm going to go ahead and attack here. See what Goblin God reveals, and then plan on revelrying their border post if we don't see another land. Maelstrom Pulse. I missed a damage point there, but I should still blow it up instead of compounding the issue. Alright, there's a land. It's unlikely they have something like Blessed Alliance in their deck, so... Alright, got there in match number 5. So, 0-2 to 3-2. I mean, burn is burn. Not much more to say on it. Some matchups, obviously, for burn are very good. Some matchups are quite... depends on the hate cards I have. Leyline Sanctity, Blessed Alliance, Collective Brutality, Timely Reinforcements, Kitchen Finks, Thragtusk or Obstinate Baloth with Acceleration. They're all relevant cards. Basically, the only thing with the various burn builds that have kind of come down, in at least the general burn builds that are played, most of them look something like this. You've got the main differences are whether your Lavamancers are in the main or if they're on the side. You know, different people have different sideboard things. You know, some people are sideboarding Ensnaring Bridge, some people are siding various different things. This particular build has been kind of tuned to try to fight humans, small creature decks, Death Shadow Control, and Storm and Hollow One. And I'm still debating Rest in Peace's effectiveness against Hollow One. On the play, it's pretty decent. On the draw, sometimes Rest in Peace is too slow. Stop their delve threats. Another debate is whether you even want the one Stomping Ground splash for the Destructive Revelry. Because a lot of matchups, like the blue-white decks that might bring in like ley lines, that you might be tempted to bring these in, or stuff like that, sometimes have like Field Rune and such, so only having one green source is a little risky. The other counterplay to that is kind of playing straight Boros with just a bunch of Wear Tears in your sideboard or Fragmentize. That was one of the debates Foz and I had last time I played Burn, was whether the splash was worth it or not. Kind of hard to say. This is kind of the build that I actually play in paper, other than these Rest in Pieces are 2-core Firewalkers in my local game store, because Burn is more prevalent than Hollow 1, or just pretty much the only matchup. Hollow 1 and Dredge are the only ones that I absolutely want Rest in Peace against. Storm is a close enough / good enough matchup that I don't feel I necessarily need Rest in Peace to beat it consistently. I also have the Grim Lavamancers in the sideboard at my LGS deck. Simply isn't enough Humans decks running around to justify it, but there are enough like Elves decks and stuff that I still want the effect on the sideboard. Searing Blood, obviously your Searing effects number 5 and 6, pretty reasonable. And then the rest of the deck's just kind of your standard fare. I play 20 lands, don't want to get mana screwed. I'd rather flood out a little bit than have too many games where I get stuck on one or less lands. So, kind of a give-take. Another card some people play in these decks is, well, I can see the card, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. The Bolt that requires you to sack a land. Don't like that card. I'm drawing a blank on it, even though I can see the art right now. Shard Volley. Don't like that card. Just like sticking to Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Searing Blaze, Skull Crack, Boros Charm, Helix, and Rift Bolt. And as far as Legacy Burn, we're not going to play that right now. But the main difference between Modern and Legacy Burn, obviously you get access to Chain Lightning, which is just a sorcery speed bolt. Flame Rift allows you to play around Leyline a little bit if people are even packing that. 4 damage to each player. Price of Progress obviously is a busted card against mana deck or greedy mana based decks. This would be a great card. Honestly, I think they could potentially print this card in Modern and ban Blood Moon, because it would kind of keep the greedy mana bases in check. And then Fire Blast is just a really, you basically do 3-for-1 yourself, but 4 damage out of nowhere with just 2 mountains. Makes turn 3 kills a lot more plausible, which is kind of necessary in a format like Legacy. It's possible I should be playing fetch lands in this build with some Searing Blazes instead of Searing Bloods, but this is the kind of build that I ran to a 4-1 finish in the only Legacy league I've played so far with Burn, but we'll eventually get to play more Legacy leagues. Just right now I'm going to move on to some other stuff. When I get back, I'm going to be playing some Todd Stevens Grixis Control in Standard. I'll probably run it through a league. I'll probably be most of the rest of the morning stream, because that league's probably going to take 2.5-3 hours. So, wanted to get a little bit of Modern in, play a little bit of Burn, so see how it does. And I'll be back here in a bit with Todd Stevens' Standard Grixis Control list. Thanks everyone for tuning in this morning so far. Been a pleasure hanging out with you, and I hope to catch you all later in a bit.